Professor Chan, distinguished guests, good morning. My name is Tony, and I'm the Commissioner for Cultural Affairs here at New Taipei City Government. On behalf of Mayor Chu, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this great event hosted by a great city. As you all know, probably better than I do, Yingge has a history of pottery and ceramics. I think it started long before, decades ago. However, during the past maybe 2 or 3 decades, like in most other labor-intensive industry, here at Yingge, we suffer as well. But luckily, with the help of many pioneers, such as Professor Chan, they set up a museum set to help local economy, but as well try to upgrade not only a local industry, but also promote another art form. Today, I think to some extent, we have some success. And I often, when I speak to my local colleagues here, I always tell them, as the local government, as the city government, as a city agency, we here at the Yingge Museum, we see ourselves as a bridge for the local community and the world. And to us, you are the world. You brighten our perspective, and without your contribution, we could not have this great event. And I hope in the near future, your vision and your effort and your contribution will guide us and help us transform a local economy into the next step. And thank you very much, all. Thank you.
谢谢林局长。好，接下来进行评审团评论的部分。首先，我们会邀请到前文建会主委陈玉秀陈主委，请大家掌声欢迎陈主委。
Good morning, distinguished guests. 各位大家早安。那我非常高兴，我们的莺歌陶瓷双年展，走了10年啊。这10年来，可以讲说，在很多人的努力之下呢，能够有今天这样一个成果。那我们评审团呢，其实大家在一起的时候，我们在评审的过程当中，我们都有一些讨论啊。那我们知道一个这个陶瓷的艺术家，他在做创作的时候，他是把他内心的观念跟他对艺术的感觉，透过这个媒材，然后创造出一个创作品。而策展人的我们在甄选的时候，策展人其实他也是一个创作家，因为策展人他是在观念上啊，他的一个新创，他的这个想法，但是他这个想法呢，是谁来完成？是很多艺术家跟他共同完成，所以这个是策展人跟艺术家创作不同的地方。而我们这次呢，在几位来参加的策展人当中，要选出最优秀的，或者是说能够代表我们莺歌陶瓷这个双年展的精神的呢，其实我们在评审的刚开始的时候，我们大家就有经过讨论，所以我们希望这个观念的创作呢，经由策展人结合了很多的陶艺家来展现出一个趋势的时候，他必须具备几个条件。第一个，他必须要有能力，能够去跟很多艺术家结合；第二个，他必须要有在地化跟全球化的观念啊。那再来呢，我们也在我们评审的过程中，希望这个平台越广越好，同时它又能够代表这个世纪的趋势。所以呢，我们在看到策展人当中，当他对于这个数位这一方面有不一样的观念的时候，他又符合了 这个普世的价值，一个全球化的一个新的再生的观念的时候，我们大家最后呢就选了这个 Wendy Gers 成为我们这一届的这个策展人啊。所以在这个过程当中，我想之后他被选为策展人之后，他的艰困的工作才开始，因为他接着呢，为了要完成他这个4个理念的时候，他必须要跟全世界很多的艺术家去做沟通，然后要从最细节开始去做策展。那我也有跟他私人，我们有一个晚餐啊，然后我们也讨论到很多很多的可能性。然后我相信他在这1年当中呢，他用了他很多的时间，用他很多的心，还有他的人际网络，他跟艺术家之间的沟通，然后他们其实是透过这个平台，创造一个新的观念，一个新的趋势。那我认为英歌陶瓷博物馆呢，从2004年开始，当时我们就期许自己是能够走在世界的前端，不管是艺术创作，或者是说策展人在这个平台创作观念领先这一方面。那我相信这次的展览待会大家可以去看。再来就是透过我们今天的这个研讨会，我们邀请到世界著名的这个学者专家，他们来把这个世界的趋势来跟我们大家分享。我想这是一个非常难能可贵的机会。谢谢所有来参加的艺术家们，所有工作者，还有所有今天来到现场的学者专家，以及在现场我们所有的朋友。我相信我们大家共同一起能够创造不一样的时代。谢谢大家。
非常谢谢陈主委。紧接着，我们有请另一位评审委员评论，邀请到的是澳洲坎培拉国家艺廊策展人 Mr. Robert Bell， 请各位掌声欢迎 Mr. Robert Bell。
Good morning, everybody. Since its inception in 2004, the Taiwan Ceramics Biennale has been an event that's eagerly awaited by ceramicists, academics, curators and writers for the opportunity to participate in and experience a fresh and unique view on current ceramic practice worldwide. The museum's Biennale program of alternating a competition with a curated exhibition offers its audience an intellectually and visually stimulating examination of contemporary ceramic practice in the context of its rich permanent exhibits on the history of craft and ceramics in the context of Taiwanese culture and history. As a major recurrent project of the new Taipei City Inga Ceramics Museum, this event brings a focus to its collections and the opportunity to develop them through acquisitions of accomplished and innovative works from the exhibition. The professionalism and intellectual rigour through which the theme and concept of the exhibition is developed draws in artists, ceramic specialists and curators, offering many of them the opportunity to visit Taiwan for the first time and to experience its culture through the framework of its ceramic arts. I was honoured to have been invited to join the jury to select the curator for the 2014 Biennale, providing me with my first experience of the country and its rich ceramic heritage. With my jury colleagues, Chair Chen Chun-lan, Lau Jie-chang, Chen Yu-chiu, Ho Cheng-kwang, Jane Milosh and Setsuko Nagasawa, we considered 7 strong proposals submitted by curators from the United States of America, Italy, France, the Netherlands, Japan and South Africa, presenting us with a broad new view of current ceramic practice from around the world. Wendy Gers' proposal was selected for her exploration of new ceramic technologies in the context of contemporary art and design. Through its sub-themes, she's made a persuasive proposal that explored a diversity of media not usually found in ceramic-focused projects. By using these strategies to place ceramic practice into a broader discourse on the nature of production, Wendy encourages the audience to consider the shifting centres of influence in ceramics and does so from her particularly interesting cultural reference point of South Africa. The works in the exhibition by artists from 21 countries collectively offer us a new landscape of material culture, unfettered by geography or national tradition, instead overlaying on the familiar map of the world a fluid new network of ideas, interrogation and cultural perspectives, informed by new ways of making and communicating through the expanding new dimensions of ceramics. The 58 artists that she's invited to participate in this exhibition have established practices from across the spectrum of ceramics, from individual craft studios to industrial settings, with a number of them drawing freely from globalised and interconnected technological and digital resources. Through their work in this exhibition, we can locate them as agents of change within a familiar material territory. Artists exploring the implications of production and consumption by proposing reuse and upcycling show how such concerns can be the stimulus for producing provocative new work, while others are pushing the conceptual, intellectual and formal dimensions of what's possible from the increasingly ubiquitous technology of 3D printing. Other artists are exploring some of the visual and tactile experiences of ceramics through the digital and cyber realms, taking these beyond the physical envelope of the exhibition gallery to the intimate space of the personal device. These strategies offer the museum alternative ways to engage its audience and to position itself as a leader in bringing new dimensions of art, craft and design and technology to the cultural landscape of Taiwan and the Asia-Pacific region. As jurors, we were able to appreciate how the new Taipei City Ceramics Museum achieves these objectives through its clear mission and its innovative programs to energise the field of ceramics. Our task as jurors was made enjoyable through the museum's open and well-organised approach to the sharing of views and the critical discussion that the diverse range of curatorial propositions brought forth. And on behalf of the jury, I'd like to thank the director, Dr. Chen Lan and her staff for this stimulating opportunity. Wendy Ger's proposal captivated the jury at the concept stage, and we've been discussing it ever since, and now we're rewarded by the splendid exhibition that she's curated. And we congratulate the museum and Wendy on this extraordinary achievement. And it's my great pleasure to be here representing not only my country, but in many ways the very large field of people across the world who are interested in ceramics and its meanings and its connection not only with culture but with society and change. So I'm looking forward to this conference very much, and thank you for the opportunity to take part.
Thank you very much. It's a great honour to be here this morning. Thank you very much to Wendy Ger for the marvellous Biennale and the opportunity to have such a rich series of works to respond to, and as well the museum and the wonderful hospitality we've had in this institution, the boldness of vision in instituting this program and seeing it realised in such a groundbreaking Biennale. So my name is Kevin Murray. I'm from Australia, from Melbourne. The traditional owners of the city where I live are the people of the Kulin Nation, an Aboriginal people. And I would like, in my speech, to reflect on some of the issues that I think this Biennale brings up. I make reference to some of the works in the exhibition, but obviously time constrains speaking of all of them. Also, I confess I am not as familiar with the Taiwanese ceramics field as I should be, so I looked the opportunity this weekend to learn more of Taiwanese ceramics and to see the work in this particular exhibition. I will make reference to some Western thinkers, some ideas in Western thought which I think are very relevant to what we're looking at in the Biennale, and to think about the relationship between ceramics as a studio movement and ceramics as an art form, which has become a very important issue in our time. I want to start with a story where I come from. So I learnt to be a craft writer working with ceramicists. Part of my training was to try and make ceramics for a number of months. The results of my labour were so ugly that I thought the one contribution I would make to ceramics is that I would not make anything more. I would not inflict my work. So it's a great opportunity to have the opportunity. It's a great opportunity to make a contribution, at least as a writer, today. So the story that I want to begin with, I just learned, concerns an event which happened last month in country Victoria. Two ceramicists, Ben Ladau and Lucille Saliano, were prospecting, were looking for good slip for their ceramics. And the understanding was if they found some land which had some good clay, they would come to an agreement with the owner of this land. They would make some of the ceramics for the owner while keeping the clay. They happened to be on land which was being farmed by some organic producers. And these producers would send their produce to the City of Melbourne every week, and as well as being paid for their produce, they would receive what's left over, the waste of the food, which they would then dig into the soil in their farms. So they believed very much in an idea of agriculture as a cycle. So Ben and Lucille offered to make some ceramics for these farmers, and it turned out that the farmers were actually getting married. They were a couple. So they thought, well, we need some ceramics for our wedding. Would you make us these bowls? And so they made some ceramics and the wedding happened. But part of the process, as you might predict, after the wedding was to then smash the ceramics and bury it back into the soil. So there is this cyclical process in a wedding. So it reflects the way in which a wedding is part of a life. It's a rite of passage. It, in many societies, represents the peak of life between birth and death. But it's also a time to recognize the fact that life is a cycle. Now, it's also a very sweet tale of cradle-to-grave design, an increasing interest in ethical design and the impact of design on the planet. And it seems quite exceptional. But of course we know, particularly in Asia, that there are many practices where this is something very common. For instance, in India, the kulak, the chai cup, is a very common form of ceramics which is very low grade. It's dried in the sun and fired in an open fire and produced in mass quantities for a very refreshing, hot, spiced tea drink, which is consumed on the run and is then thrown away onto the soil or the train tracks. One of the colloquial terms for the chai cup is pikke pat. Pikke is the Hindi word for to drink, and put is the sound of the cup when it hits the railway track and smashes. So this is something which is, for many people, a marvellous aspect of ceramic tradition, particular to India. But one of the issues we have, and what I'd like to reflect on, is the way in which we both enjoy this tradition but find it very difficult to practice. This was something which was encountered by a Melbourne designer, Sian Pascal, who was producing chai cups in Dharavi, the slum in Mumbai. In fact, I have one here. Thank you, sir. And to try and encourage people to throw these cups away, she impregnated them with seeds of a plant. This one has alyssum in it. So there is an encouragement here for you to be able to think that it's not totally waste in throwing it away, that something may come, a flower may grow. She produced this last year and has been selling them